What's the first thing that goes through your mind when you think of great things that came out of the state of Kentucky? Most people are like, oh, Jim Beam or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Horses, they've got the Kentucky Derby. But I like to think it's me. Hello, my name is James Stacy, and I'm going to be talking to you today about my past, my current military career, and my future ambitions. So now that I have your attention, let's talk about how I became a Kentuckian. I call Kentucky home even though I only lived there for a total of 5 years. My father was in the Air Force and I was born in England, and we moved around a lot. We lived in South Dakota, Montana, and Missouri before my dad finally got out of the Air Force and we settled down in southern Kentucky. I mainly call Kentucky home because I completed more than 3 grades in a row there, graduated high school there, and that's the longest area I ever lived during. That's the longest time I ever spent in one area. After graduating high school, I realized I wasn't mature enough to go to college right out of school, and figured going to the military would be the best for me and my family. So now that we've talked about my past and how I got to where my military career took off, let's talk about my military career. I've been in the Air Force for a total of 10 years, and I've only been to 2 bases. After basic training and technical school, I got stationed at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. And I was stationed there for a total of 8 years. While stationed there, I got to see some of the more scenic areas of the world: Iraq, Afghanistan, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. But Holloman was a good place though, because that's where I met my wife Heather, and that's also where our sons James and Jason were born at. I also was a member for 6 years of the base honor guard there, and had the honor of doing 150 military funerals, including one for my best friend from home who passed away while stationed in Italy. After my sentence at Holloman was up, we moved to RAF Crowton, which is in the United Kingdom. There I work in the High Frequency Global Communication Systems Org Center. What that is it's a high frequency radio system that covers 6,000 square miles of the Atlantic Ocean for military air traffic back and forth between the States and Europe. I'm also the NCOIC of the base honor guard at Crowton, and I'm passing my skills on to a younger generation of honor guardsmen. I'm also currently deployed to Kosovo as a member of NATO doing the peacekeeping mission here in Kosovo. This is a very unique deployment for me because I get to work with our NATO counterparts and get to learn a lot about the different cultures from Turkey, France, Portugal, Slovenia. I can't even name them all, there's so many here, and it's such a great experience for me. So, now that we've talked about my past and my military career, let's talk about how I plan to take over the world. I intend to get my degree within the next 10 years, even though I don't know what my degree is going to be in yet. I'm really interested in astronomy, astrophysics, and no, they are not the same thing, and biochemistry, mainly because those 3 fields of study have always been able to keep my interest. I also intend, after my Air Force career, to get a job at NASA. It's always been a dream of mine. I don't care if I'm just a janitor. I just want to say, hey, I work at NASA. But regardless, I do intend to run for a political office later on in my life, whether it be for, I plan on starting small at like a state senator for probably Kentucky, but working up for an eventual run for the presidency. So, now that we've covered all the topics, let's do a recap. We've discussed about where I come from, my military career, and my future ambitions. So, now that you know a little bit about me, that way 30, 40 years from now when you see me on the campaign trail, you'll be like, hey, I went to school with that guy. And don't forget, vote Stacy. Have a great night.